Let's talk about seller's temporary leaseback. Here in the state of Texas, we have what's called a seller's temporary lease. This form is allowing the seller to stay in the property after the closing date for an indeterminate amount of time. Whatever is on that form is negotiated time is. As of right now in this market, sometimes there's a week or 2 weeks that are being allowed for the seller to stay in the property. During that time, seller, who is now turned into the tenant, will need to take care of the property, meaning the yard, the trees, the lawn, still continue to pay all of the utilities, as well as continue to have insurance coverage on the property. But it can turn into a rental coverage if the new owner has turned it into a homeowner's policy for themselves. During this time, the seller should continue to keep up with all of the appliances, so such as the water heater or the HVAC unit. So I had a seller who was a tenant ask me, well, what if the water heater breaks? Do I still have to repair that, or isn't the owner now responsible? The owner is not responsible. You are, as a tenant, are still responsible for that water heater and HVAC. So if you have a concern about that being replacing during that time that you're living in it in the 2 weeks, then you want to make sure that you have either a home warranty to continue to keep covering that, or just know that you will have to foot that bill if the HVAC breaks or if the water heater malfunctions and starts to leak. You would be responsible to purchase a new one. Also, there is what's called a holdover fee. So if you as a tenant stay in the property past the time on the contract, you have a daily rate that is also negotiable on that. And it just depends on what negotiated between the agent and the buyer. Another thing that you want to consider is when you are staying in the property, you are going to be giving a deposit to allow you to stay in the property, just like you would for an apartment complex. You are giving them a deposit so that if you as a tenant move out of the property and cause any destruction, such as break a window, scratch the floor, do anything major, punch a hole in the wall with furniture, then now you are responsible, and the owner of the property now can potentially keep that deposit. But you would need to contact a real estate attorney to decide if that was something that was allowable per your leaseback requirement. So those are the big highlights that I wanted to cover as far as leasebacks, because we use those quite a bit here in Texas. But if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me, and I hope you can like or subscribe for my next video.